Corp's Ragnarok Online was maybe the biggest MMO in 2003. It captivated many players with its charming characters, customizability, and excellent music. Today we're going to look at the official art and fan art, while we will recall our precious memories. The official story is about gods, humans and spirits finding their place in the world of Rune Midgard. However, as far as I know, nobody cared about stories of MMOs back in the day. Actually, they were created by people's interactions through hunting bosses such as MVPs, castle guild fights in War of the Imperium, player versus player scene, and the community as a whole. In other words, the game gave the player freedom to become anything. Want to make weapons? Become a blacksmith. Want to one-hit KO anybody? Become a monk. Or do you want to take revenge on that Bigfoot that killed all your friends during your novice days? Become a supernovist. We've seen it all. Because with the vast amount of jobs and builds possible, experimentation felt endless. On the psychological side, during guild fights, people even go so far using alts as spies to allocate attack and defense strategies to occupy castles. They would recruit temporary mercenaries to make sure that they got their hands on treasury chambers and private guild dungeons. This aside, during the loading screens there always were pieces of art on exposition. Most were official from the Korean graffiti team, others were region specific, and some were sent in by fans. So basically there's not really a general art style that defines Ragnarok, only its design. The general takeaway is that the whole ambience of the world contains light-weighted characters and monsters with mythological influences from different cultures. Art, towns, dungeons and zones change per patch, so the game felt fresh all the time. I don't know if you remember the old Ragnarok Online forums, but there were even some commission artists that would draw your character and friends for in-game money. Few of them were so good, this game made me appreciate art way more as a kid. A lot of players started with the IRO open beta back in 2003, at least if you could get through the login server. I started as a thief, because I always thought Hawkeye from Seiken Densetsu 3 was cool, and named my first character after him. As my English communication skills were almost non-existent, I spent a lot of time doing the job quest, not knowing that you had to collect two types of spores with a slight different name, but similar sprite icon. I used Vitality as my main stat to reduce damage, and used a sword as weapon because I saw a swordsman using it. After the open beta closed and my screwed up character got deleted, I played the temporary free-to-play IRO period as a swordsman. I played together with my brother and wanted to become a paladin, only to be left heartbroken that this job was not yet in the game. Anyways, I went into the orc dungeon because I was told it was the place to be at around level 30, although it kind of creeped me out as it was filled with orc zombies and skeletons. It was swarmed by people with all kinds of jobs, which made it much more doable. Soon after some good old grinding, a yellow crystal dropped. People hoarded me when seeing it. Private messaging, trying to trade, betting each other for prices that far exceeded my wallet and imagination. The funny thing was that I had no idea what it actually did, and those people first had to explain to me what the fuss was all about before I sold it for 1 million zenny. As you probably guessed, it happened to be an Imperium, crystals needed to make guilds and conquer castles. After the deal and a smile on my face, I went back into the orc dungeon again. Just after a couple of steps, an orc zombie spawned right next to me. The second I bashed in its head, there it was again. An Imperium. Before I even could comprehend what just happened, the nearest player walked right towards me trying to loot it, but couldn't, due to the 10-second looting rule. I kid you not, this image is still burned on my retina. The chance of dropping one was only 0.01%. Twice in a row was unheard of. With 2.5 million in the bank, my brother and I used all undead branches that spawned random monsters to harass Pantera merchants. Mainly wasting this money because the GMs just announced it went pay to play. So instead I went to the new European server. We didn't have a credit card, so I couldn't pay for the game in the beginning, and played free 14-day trial accounts. Made a swordsman, leveled, bought gear, and before the trial ended, I dropped the gear on the ground and logged in with a new account to quickly retract it. I did this in a desolated map near Pantera where only porers could steal the item. This way I kind of had an account that could progress. Then after talking with my brother how to efficiently play the game, we got into botting. So we created a Fit Spear and 2 and Quick and Night combo and let them roam in unpopular maps for easy grinding and not disturbing others. One day when I came back from school and checked how the bots were doing, the command log stated I was in this unknown map, creating errors in the Pathfinder. I relogged and saw that we were imprisoned in some abandoned shop in Pantera. Then I noticed a unique sprite sitting in the corner just watching me and a dozen of players that seemed to be stuck. I asked what was going on. The GM said that I was caught botting due to the strange movement and unresponsiveness to his teleportation magic. I explained in my best English that my younger and mentally challenged brother was playing the game and he didn't understand what was going on. Simply said, the GM didn't buy my story and my account got banned. Although bummed out, I quit botting altogether and played legit when I finally could pay for a subscription. I had tons of fun. I made again a swordsman and grinding Gavin Tower, a place where you can kill all those purple poison spores. When I was venturing through it, I came across a ghost and I tried to bash it, however my sword went right through and thus I missed. Rapidly it was clear I was going to die. So in distress I spammed my precious healing and SP potions with Magnum Break just to kill the damn thing so that I wouldn't lose my hard earned XP. Then I dropped the card, picked it up and asked my guild, anybody know if a wisp card is any good? The response was massive. This card was extremely rare at the time and got me more than 3 million at level 50 or so. Again, I had this weird streak of luck. Seems like it all goes into video games instead of real life. This time, instead of death branches, I bought mainly PvP gear for my 5th Spear Knight. And that was the only equipment I could afford for a long time. I went to the small community of the Dutch forums for money tips. Some of the richest people were Dutch. One even obtained the gold item Guard and a doppelganger card for his Assassin's Cross. Another, a golden thief build card on a boggler. Anyways, they told me to harvest all blue boxes, gambling items which, when opened, could give you a random item from the game. And because gambling is a serious addiction, I grind the living crap out of the monsters that drop these items to sell them on the streets. After I hit level 99, I began to freelance in different guilds. Some were A tier, such as Forever Love, Rock and Roll and Groepe 8, to C tier, like Death Empire and whatnot. You know the kind. They can hold a castle and recruit anybody. So for these guys, I was the only level 99 player, and thus I made a deal to help them with Dwarf Imperium in exchange for potions. I raised their guild experience and conquered some of those crappy pump and dump castles, which made a server-wide message to give them some advertisement to recruit better players. I quit for a while until the Rebirth patch, changed into a Lord Knight and went for a Agi Fit hybrid, a weird PvMP killer build. Or so I envision. Personally, I think the Rebirth concept and sprite change was a genius move by the developers. Ultimately, I gave my account away to a priest friend, for his own profits, as I stepped over to the dark side.
World of Warcraft.
When he opened my account, he told me that I had a fetish for knights. It was true. Out of the 5 character slots, I had 3 knights, a blacksmith and a rogue. I'm fancy like Navalter at GP and I had a nostalgic trip to see old screenshots where I used a mama's knife to destroy Empyreans. That said, I learned a lot from this game. Got a lot of discipline from grinding, setting high demanded items, the connection with people from different nationalities, and without a doubt the creative freedom this game had to offer. I'm sure you have a lot of memories as well. Feel free to share, as I really like to read them in the comments. Although I enjoy single player RPGs way more than MMOs, this game, emotionally, stays on top.